The woman was horrified to find that her foster sister could frequently take on her appearance. At first she thought she was just seeing things, but as time went on, she noticed that her foster sister was not only looking more and more like her, even the housemate often mistook them for each other. She suspected that she might be replaced by her foster sister, because in her previous life, it was during her singing competition that her foster sister not only went first to sing the original song she had composed, but their faces even swapped. In the end, she was mistaken for a plagiarist and beaten to death by the audience. Reborn into a new life, she found that her adopted daughter was looking increasingly like her. The adopted daughter was very likely to replace her life, just like in her last life. Now, there are only 5 days left until the singing competition to prevent her foster sister from having a chance to plagiarize her song. She tore up the award-winning lyrics from her previous life in front of her foster sister. Then she hid in her room alone and rewrote them. But when she went to her parents with the newly written lyrics, she found that her foster sister had already shown the lyrics to her parents. Those lyrics and melody were what she had just written. She couldn't understand how her foster sister knew. She immediately suspected that her foster sister had installed surveillance in her room, so she called the property management for an inspection. But the property management said there was no surveillance in the room, just as she was wondering how her foster sister had stolen the lyrics she created. She recalled that her foster sister had once borrowed her laptop, and her older brother was a computer expert. She suspected that the two of them had teamed up to install a virus in the laptop, causing the lyrics she wrote to be stolen in order to prevent her foster sister from stealing her songs again. She decided to post her newly created song on social media as soon as possible. She thought that this time her foster sister definitely wouldn't be faster than her. But when she opened social media to post the video, she found that her foster sister had once again beaten her to posting the song she had just composed. Seeing this, she could hardly believe it. Then she decided to go to a place where no one was to create songs. As soon as she stepped out the door, she found that her foster sister was not only wearing the same outfit as her, even her hairstyle, earrings, and lipstick color were exactly the same as hers. The woman recalled how in her last life, her foster sister imitated her in every way. She had thought her foster sister liked her, but now it seemed that her foster sister intended to replace her life. Unfortunately, she still didn't know what methods her foster sister had used. Then she came to a deserted spot at her doorstep to rehearse unexpectedly, before she could sing even a couple of lines. She heard her exact song coming from inside the house. She saw her foster sister singing the exact same song as her again. This made her unable to believe it was real. Just as the family was praising her foster sister singing, the woman returned from outside where she had been writing songs. Her father asked her what song she had written. She thought of how her foster sister had already stolen her song, and if she said again that this song was written by her, her parents definitely wouldn't believe her. So she said that she hadn't thought of a new song. At this point, her parents told her to give her room to her foster sister. They also said that this was something she had promised in person 3 years ago, but she had never said such a thing. She didn't understand how her foster sister had implanted this information into her parents' minds. What made her even more heartbroken was that her parents actually favored her foster sister so much since she couldn't change the outcome of her last life. She decided she didn't want anything anymore. She wouldn't participate in the singing competition either, saying that she was about to leave the house. Seeing the scene, her foster sister became extremely nervous on the spot. She asked the system if, after the woman left, she could still replace the woman's life. These words were all heard by her parents and the woman. Upon realizing she had let something slip, she hurried to explain that they had misheard. She knelt down, begging the woman not to leave the house. The woman seemed to understand something because in her last life, just before dying, her foster sister had seen dementia, a system that could allow her foster sister to continuously possess the woman's belongings. Then recalling that every time she wrote a song, her foster sister would come to her room and take something. Later, her foster sister knew everything about her. The woman immediately understood. It turned out her foster sister had a system that could swap lives. As long as her foster sister got hold of one of her items, she could replace a segment of her life. Whether it was a song or her family, anything that belonged to her would be replaced by her foster sister until, just like in her previous life, her life was completely replaced by her foster sister to get revenge on her foster sister. The woman thought of a plan. She immediately thought of a way to bring ruin and disgrace to her foster sister.